Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we are going to be talking about the NFL. And when it comes to the NFL, we're going to be going through each division, predicting every single team's final record, even though there already been 2 games played. We're going to predict the rest of the season. I'm going to give you who's going to win each division, and you guys can tell me in the comments down below whether I'm right or wrong, and a lot of you will tell I'm wrong. But it's prediction, so we'll see how that happens. So let's get into the first division of the NFL season predictions for this season. So let's start off with the AFC, and let's start off with the AFC South. Now, if you guys don't know who is in the AFC South, that is the Colts, Texans, Titans, and Jaguars. Now, of course, when it comes to who's going to finish last in that division, I mean, is it kind of obvious? We all know it's going to be Jacksonville. But not only is it going to be Jacksonville I have predicting going 1-14-1 and having the first overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Third place, I have the Houston Texans finishing at 8-8. I know I did in my Texans prediction, I gave them, 7-9 or probably worse than that. But Deshaun Watson is a really good team, and, like with Brandon Cooks now, it's going to be a really, really decent team, and they're going to be probably third best in that division. The 2 teams I have making it out of the playoffs from that division is the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. I have the Indianapolis Colts finishing 11-5, and yes, I know Marlon Mack is, I think, out for the season, or he's out for a couple of weeks. But I feel like this Indianapolis team has a very, very good defense, and that defense is going to end up prevailing for them, and they're going to end up winning the division, finishing at 11-5 before we move on to the Tennessee Titans, who are going to finish 9-7 and still make the playoffs. Now let's move on into everybody's favorite division, because this is probably the most easiest division to win. That is the AFC East. Last place, I don't have the Miami Dolphins. I have the New York Jets finishing at a 3-13. Second last, I have the Miami Dolphins finishing at 8-8. And just, a couple of positions, but just missing out on the playoffs. I feel like during the middle of the season, they're going to probably put in Tua Tagovailoa, and Tua is going to win a couple of games for them. At second place, I have the New England Patriots tying the Miami Dolphins, but getting the better of the Dolphins due to the division record, finishing at 8-8, and winning the division for the AFC East. I have the Buffalo Bills, and I have 2 teams coming out of the AFC East. That is the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills, which is kind of debatable because, I mean, it's really a debate. That division, anything can happen, because Tom Brady lost to Miami Dolphins last game of the season, so the Dolphins can end up making the playoffs if they play Tua. The Chargers have been playing good with Justin Herbert after they started Justin Herbert this past game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, let's get into the AFC West. AFC West. Last place in that division is shockingly, they beat the Patriots, they beat the Saints, this past Monday. I'm going to have the Oakland Raiders finishing at 2-14. This is down to the teams that they play and the toughness of the teams that they play. And unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to, technically since they're 2-0 right now, I don't see them winning another game. But that's obviously probably going to change because the Oakland Raiders do look like a very good team. And I'm definitely going to be wrong about this prediction. Third place in the AFC West, I have the Los Angeles Chargers tying the Denver Broncos, with the Broncos getting the better of them due to their division games and having better win-loss record in division games, both finishing at 7-9. And of course, is there anybody less to expect? I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West for the 2020 NFL football season. And now the final team in the AFC, let's get to it. We have the AFC North. Last place, I have the Cincinnati Bengals finishing with a record of 4-12. Third place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the AFC West. 1 team's getting out, Kansas City. 2 teams are getting out of the AFC North. Third place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing on 7-9. Even though Big Ben is back, I feel like one of these games, Big Ben will probably, I don't want to say it, but he's probably going to get injured, and that's going to hurt the Steelers. Not as bad as last year, but still going to hurt them a little bit bad, and they're going to end up finishing 7-9. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns, who are going to finally get a playoff berth with Baker Mayfield, and they're going to finish 10-6. but that's still going to be second in that division. And the number one seed overall for the AFC, in my honest prediction, is going to be the Baltimore Ravens, who are going to have a one less loss than the Kansas City Chiefs to get that overall bye. And they're going to finish at 15-1. Because Lamar Jackson, these past 2 games, has been looking absolutely incredible. Of course, Kansas City has to play Baltimore, so that's going to be a very interesting game to see. And yeah, so now let's move on into the other conference, that is the NFC. And we're gonna get my team's division out of the way. We're gonna talk about the NFC South, which has the Saints, Falcons, Buccaneers, and the Panthers. I have the Panthers finishing last in that division, finishing at 5-11. Third place, I have the Buccaneers missing out on the playoffs, finishing at 9-7. The 2 teams I see making out of the NFC South are the Saints and the Falcons. Even though the Falcons have been playing like absolute crap, I feel like they're gonna pick up their stuff, and they're still gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna tie, or at least tie the Saints, because if the Saints can continue playing like this, the Falcons got a good shot at tying the Saints for first in division, and I feel like that's going to happen based on the way the Saints have been playing. But if the Saints ended up picking up things, and they're going to get Michael Thomas back, so this is probably going to change. But I have the Falcons and the Saints finishing both at 10-6 and making into the playoffs. Next, let's talk about Green Bay's division, otherwise known as the NFC North, where they have the Packers, Vikings, Lions, and Bears, who the Falcons are going to be playing this week. I only have one team getting out of this division, and that is the Green Bay Packers. But let's go on into last place. I think the Detroit Lions are going to end up finishing 3-13. The Cleveland. Chicago Bears is just going to have, thanks to a tie, I feel that the Chicago Bears, when they play Jacksonville, is going to end up in a tie. So the Chicago Bears are going to end up finishing 4-11-1, and due to that draw, they're going to end up having a better record than the Lions just by a little bit, because I feel like there's going to what happened last year, even though Matthew Stafford is going to happen again, and the Lions are going to end up getting a probably top 10 pick. The Minnesota Vikings, yes, they beat Drew Brees last season in the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to happen again. I feel like Kirk Cousins is going to have an off season, and Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings are going to end up finishing 7-9 in the NFL 2020 season. And winning the division, obviously, is the Green Bay Packers. I have the Green Bay Packers finishing at 14-2, finishing second overall in the NFC Conference, because the winners of the NFC Conference I have are coming from the NFC West, and that includes the Seahawks, 49ers, Cardinals, and the Rams. I have the Rams finishing last in that division. I have the Rams finishing at 5-11. The Cardinals making the playoffs at 9-7. The 49ers finishing at 13-3. And the Seahawks, Russell Wilson's playing like a freaking MVP in this season. So I have the Seahawks making it to getting a first round bye and finishing at 15-1. Same record as Baltimore. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see if Seattle can actually pull that off or if they can't. And now everybody's favorite division in the NFC. It's not my favorite, but there's a lot of conversation when it comes to that, especially on undisputed, the NFC East. So the NFC East has the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Washington football team. Washington football team, I'm gonna have them finishing last at 3-13. 3-13, which is not a bad record for them, but considering they're probably gonna need offensive tackle or a wide receiver option for Dwayne Haskins, it's going to be another year where they have a bad record. The New York Giants, they just lost Saquon Barkley for the season. They end up signing Devontae Freeman as a running back. So this is going to really, really hurt them, because I feel like the running game is the best part of the Giants team. So they're going to end up having one better win than the Washington football team, ended up finishing 4-12. The Eagles are just going to miss out on the playoffs. This is the team. This team and the Bucks I have missing out by one spot. If they could get extra win, they would be in the playoffs. But I have the Eagles missing out due to them having a worse division record than the Dallas Cowboys. And I have the Dallas Cowboys making it into playoffs with Dak Prescott at finishing at the same record as the Eagles, but having a better division record. So the Dallas Cowboys would end up playing in the playoffs, winning the NFC East, and making it to the playoffs. So that would lead into the playoffs now. And yes, we're going to go through each game that I think is going to happen in the playoffs, and then we're going to determine our Super Bowl champion. So let's get into the first match of the playoffs. We're going to go AFC, then NFC. So in the AFC, the one team that would get the bye for the NFL 2020 season is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs would end up facing off against the Patriots. Bills will play Titans, and the Colts will play the Browns. I have the Chiefs beating the Patriots, the Bills beating the Titans, and the Browns, unfortunately for the Colts, beating them and making it on into the division game of the NFL playoffs. In the NFC, it'll be the Seahawks getting the bye, Packers facing against the Cowboys, Saints facing off against the Falcons, Packers against Cardinals. I had that wrong. The Packers against the Cardinals, Dallas against the 49ers. I would have the Packers beating the Cardinals, even though the Cardinals could really upset the Packers in that game. Falcons could upset the Saints in that game, but I feel like the Saints are going to make it through the next round. And then the 49ers are going to end up beating Dallas, and it's good. I feel like Dak Prescott is going to get his money because he brought them to the playoffs at least. But yeah, that takes care of the wild card round. Then we move on into the divisional round. We have the Chiefs versus the Bills and the Browns versus the Ravens. So we got a divisional game. You got a divisional game technically in both conferences, because then in the NFC, I have the Saints versus Packers and Seattle versus 49ers. AFC, I have the Chiefs beating the Bills and the Ravens getting the better of the Browns, even though this would technically be a very good season for the Browns. It'd be a positive season for them. And then when it comes to NFC, I have the Saints beating the Packers and the Seahawks getting the better of the 49ers. So in the AFC Conference Championship game, I would have Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson, the Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, and I would have the Chiefs upsetting the Baltimore Ravens because I feel like Lamar Jackson just doesn't have good playoff experience, and Patrick Mahomes has a lot better one. And the Chiefs would end up making another Super Bowl where they were going to play the winner of the Saints versus Seahawks. And in this instance, I'm going to give the win to the Seattle Seahawks. So in the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay for next year, I would have Russell Wilson against Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs versus Seattle, and I would give the win of this Super Bowl in Tampa Bay to the Seattle Seahawks, and Russell Wilson will end up getting another Super Bowl for his team, his second Super Bowl overall, and that would end up being the NFL season. So in terms of the draft order, let's go through the draft order. The draft order will be right here. Jaguars will have number 1 pick, Raiders 2nd, Lions 3rd, Washington 4th, Jets 5th, Giants 6th, Bengals 7th, Bears 8th, Panthers 9th, Jaguars 10th again, because if you guys know that the Jaguars have an extra pick in this round due to Jalen Ramsey trade, so they would pick 10th, 1st and 10th overall. The Chargers, Broncos, Vikings, Steelers, Dolphins, and then the Dolphins will have another one because they trade with the Houston Texans. So yeah, the Dolphins will have 15th and 16th. Then the Buccaneers, Eagles are the teams that just missed out on the playoffs. And then we have the playoff teams that are going to have their draft picks. So the Patriots have 19th. The Titans will have the 20th pick. The Cowboys will have the 21st. Cardinals 22nd. Falcons 23rd. Colts 24th. Browns 25th. Bills 26th. 49ers 27th. Packers 28th. Saints 29th. Ravens 30th. Chiefs 31st. And then the Seattle Seahawks would end up having the 32nd overall pick. Just kidding. No, they wouldn't. Because if you guys remember, Seattle just got a trade for Jamal Adams. So that would actually belong to the New York Jets. So the New York Jets would have the 5th and the 32nd pick. The Dolphins would have 2 picks in 15th and 16th. And the Jaguars would overall have 2 picks at 1st and 10th. So anyway guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments if you guys agree with some of my predictions about who I think is going to win the division, because obviously the records are definitely going to change. They're not going to be the most accurate ones. Some of them I may get right, some of them I may get wrong. But that's the basis of the whole prediction. And you guys can tell me if you think I'm wrong, because it's your opinion. But I really do think this is the way it's going to go down. But you guys can tell me in the comments down below if you guys think it's going to go down this way. And make sure you smash the like button, turn on the bell notifications, so you know my videos go live. I'll have another video for you guys coming tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, put in the comments down below who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl for the NFL season. But anyway guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.